Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I am on my way to the grocery store by myself. Wow. Today is June 10th, 2020. It's 10/10. June 10th, 10/10. Okay. Alrighty. And I'm going to go and see if they have my sodas. They have been having them on for Fleet Share. What's that? It's a Fleet Share. What is that? Really? That SUV. Weird. Anyway, the sodas, I get the cans, 12 cans and everything. It has to be diet and caffeine free. I can't have any caffeine, can't have any sugar. I haven't had sodas, anything to drink with sugar on purpose since I was 24, 25, and I'm 63. So yeah, I cut that out a long time ago. And the reason I say on purpose, have you ever ordered a diet soda, at a drive-thru or something, and the next thing you know, it's like, what, am I drinking syrup? That's how I feel it. And I had to go back. Do you know you could do harm? I lecture people, I'm telling you. I'm actually pretty nice about it. But no, you don't give whatever you want to give to somebody. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. I had a really bad day yesterday, and I was watching. I couldn't sleep last night. I had a really bad day. I dealt with a cardiologist, and I'm going to say which kind. It was a cardiologist. Yet another one. That aggressive crap's got to stop. It's not assertive, it's aggressive. Behaviors, oh my goodness. Used car salesman type mentality. I don't like stereotypes, so we all know it's not just used cars salespeople, and they don't all do it. But man, that aggressive behavior, oh man. And I had to deal with one yesterday, and it really, it did kind of dawn on me, because he got mad at me, and he didn't say that he was mad at me. He said, I'm gonna go check this out. And so he left, but he was angry. It's because he wasn't getting his way. That used car salesman crap. What is going on over there? Seriously, me and Adam are trying to figure it out. What they're building over there. Who knows? But anyway, it was too much. Yesterday was too much. And the reason, I have told this doctor, I only saw him one time before, and he only came in for the nurse even said it. She said, I do all this work, and I spend the time, talk about medications and tell them and apparently it's what he wants them to be on. He wants all of his patients to be taking the same medication. And he's going to do, he even told me, I forgot the term he used, but to run this, just as I've suspected, that these cardiologists will run the same test and do the same procedures, even though they're, and I'm doing air quotes here, little bunny rabbits, it's not medically necessary at this time. And one of those includes an angiogram. Somebody's in there messing with your heart. So they can find something that they can fix. They don't know that they need to go in there and fix. He even said this. Okay, I was not born yesterday. Definitely not. And he's acting like I'm some dumb country hick that can't, that he can just tell what to do, and I'm gonna do it. Okay? And I've seen that enough. So it was a bad day, and I let him know how the cow ate the cabbage. that expression I've heard since I was a child, man. But you gotta let him know how the cow ate the cabbage. Whatever. the heck? I think I looked it up one time. It's like, whatever. Boy. Standing in the hole he did. Just digging it. Yeah, that was deep. Anyway, it was just bad. And then today, I couldn't sleep much last night. I couldn't sleep the night before. I never can before I have an appointment with a doctor. Any kind of doctor. I have one that is really great doctor. He really is. He's not a cardiologist. He's, I'm not going to say what he is, but I'll talk about the cardiology because I know that I say things. And of course I know that people can figure them out, but I'm not going to say which one. Oh, come on, girl. Anyway, I've been so sick lately the past 3 years, since 2023 actually. Oh my gosh. But anyway, like I'm saying, today I thought, I know what I'm dealing with. I've been making videos about narcissism. I've been talking about narcissism online since the 1990s. Okay, and I think early 1990s. Online. That's just online. And so, and I was a career student over 20 years, and I did focus on really things like narcissism and psychopathy. Although I'll tell you that I didn't psychopathy or borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorders, I've known people who were diagnosed with it, and for whatever reason my brain just doesn't want to study it too much. Of course I have, and I've read differences in like professional papers, like what's the difference between what's it called, CPTSD, and borderline personality disorder. That was a really good article, seriously. And I've read that was the most recent one I think I read, but it was been years since I read it. It's past since 2023. I haven't been all that active in studying and reading and keeping up with stuff because I haven't been well. Just surviving and going to all these freaking doctor's appointments has been my life. Dealing with whatever they're going to put me through this time. But anyway, like I said, it would basically jump to this part after all this many minutes. As I realized this doctor, he's got an ego problem big time. Well, I saw it. I saw it when I first met him. And I heard it when his nurse, what she said. But I'm not quick to judge, although my brain will say, can do a lot of connecting the dots. I'm a genius, so it goes quickly, connects the dots and things. And the things that she said about him, that she does all this work, and she talks about the medications, and she does all this, and she spent a good 30, 45 minutes. And she said, then he comes in and saves the day. Okay, I've done a video about the ones who come in and save the day. The narcissistic kind of person. And that's just one kind. And like I said, my brain was connecting all those dots of what she's just, honestly, maybe even innocently, she's probably around in her 50s, but still innocently said about him. And then he did just that, and he come in looking so arrogant and all that. And I know you're going to say, how do you know what an arrogant person looks like? 63 years of it. But really, seriously, I was born into, like I say, the narcissistic histrionic blend of behaviors, seeing that since I was an infant. And I can say that because, of course, I don't remember infancy, and probably my first memories from when I was maybe 3 years old. And that I remember, things I remember was 3 years old. And but I can say that because there was somebody behind me was getting real close with him. I'm like, what are you doing? But is because of what they wore when I got older. And I could see it. You know, I could see their behaviors. I could their attitudes, their, you know, arrogance, some of them, and the whole histrionic thing. My first introduction was a sibling. Oh my goodness. The moment she realized she could get attention, I was there. Okay, she could get the attention she wanted. I'll park with this one right here. I like parking next to these things because there's more room to open your door and nobody can park right on top of you. That happens a lot. Okay, there is a new building that Mavis Tires and Brakes right across there. You see it? It's been built since I was last here. Whoa, what the crap? How fast do they come up with these buildings? When was the last year? It can't have been more than a couple, 2 or 3 months, maybe. Maybe it's been longer because I did have that pneumonia for a month and a half. So maybe it's been, say, 6 months. But wow, that's fast. But anyway, get back to this part of it. I took a few moments there. There's gonna be some kids coming up. I'm gonna do this. Well, I can't do that. But no, I didn't appreciate what was going on yesterday. Anyway, God, do I ever get to just finish what I'm thinking? But I saw it. I realized it. What is she wearing? Is that what in the world is that? Okay, anyway, maybe an apron? I don't know. Or some shirt. But today, woke up this morning and I was thinking, you know what you're dealing with. And yesterday I was even thinking, that man is not going to do any angiogram on me. That's what he's wanting. That's what they always want. From what I understand, that's a big payoff for them. And I even looked it up one time and I was, whoa, wow, they charge a lot for those. And he's definitely not going to be in my heart. When he had an attitude problem because, what do they call it? They are used to. Narcissistic injury and narcissistic rage. Who coined those? I think I know. But anyway, I'm not sure. But I woke up and I watched a video that was part of one of them was part of it this morning. Or listened to the video. I didn't watch the video, but I listened to it. And it was good for a reminder because I've been making videos. Just making videos alone has been about, well, I'd say 11 years. My original channel is going to be 12 years old. And the YouTube channel is going to be 12 years old in August. Why do I keep thinking September? So much happened in September last year. But, ooh, you're gonna hit somebody? Gotta back it up. But anyway, and it just, the whole thing of just the way he was behaving, he got so angry. And one of the things that I've known since I was young is how, and this is how I saw it, I put it all together when I was like, I don't know, 20s or 30s. Put it all together in my head, when I was a career student, studying. So I'm a social and behavioral scientist, so studying everything practically, it seemed like. But putting it together in my head as how when women get angry, they tend to, what I have seen, it doesn't mean that's what it is with everyone all over the place, everybody. No, it's what I have seen. That when women would get angry, females, you would feel it like it's coming from basically located in a particular spot, either like not really spot, but like we say, that comes from their heart. It's emotion, you know, or it comes directly from their head. Okay, you know, you get what I'm saying. Their brain or their feelings and thoughts or feelings, whatever. And I'm still not totally well. Can you tell? Oh my goodness. And but for men, the anger would be in their whole body. Okay, man, it might start in, oh, you dare to, and oh, boom. The whole body. And remember what I said. The men I have known, the males I have known, since I was a child, so they weren't all adults. Boom! You know, it just, whole body. And man, there was the aggression, the anger, you could see it. And women, it was just, oh, you know, whether it come from their brain or their heart. Oh. And they would basically tell you off. But men, there's going to be a fear there that man, and this is my experience, remember, that man is going to do me physical harm. He's trying to hold it in. And that is what that doctor yesterday, the cardiologist, came off to me as. That he was trying to hold it in. And he could not stop. Okay? I mean, he did. Not then, but he couldn't stop talking and trying to level the playing field. You know, trying to say that he was this. And I had told him right off, I said, I don't know you. And I didn't. I'd only seen him a few minutes. Okay, I don't know him. But no, that narcissistic injury, how dare she? And I'm saying she like that because I am certain, I think he was actually born and raised in the United States. But his ethnicity is one like Adam's that doesn't believe that women are very important. They're not equal to males. Some of them, they see it as 50% of males or less. Okay, we have problems here in the United States. Yes, indeed we do. We know it. It's not perfect. People born and raised here, not perfect, nowhere near. But that stuff, my experience as a social and behavioral scientist, my master's alone is in sociology. Okay? But we see it. Okay, somebody just came up next to me. I want to make sure you know that not all people from those countries that see that, male or female, because females can do it too, are going to still have that attitude, even if they're raised in that kind of family here. Not all of them will. It's bad to stereotype. It really is. There is thing about culture. There is thing about religion. And we all know. Some people see, Christianity in a certain way, and other people don't. That women are supposed to be subservient to men. Other people don't. I don't. Okay? And, it's a lot of it is culture. And some of it's just wishful thinking. That's the way some people look at things. I want to, that whole movement there was, I don't know if it's still going, of men who wanted to, in the United States, wanted women to learn their place in the world, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's stupidity. It's ignorance is what it is. So, I'm calling it like it is. But anyway, the whole thing, the whole situation, get back to this part, the whole thing of it, I'm like, I'm not dealing with somebody that has an ego problem again. And some people would say, you're going to see a specialist, and you think, some people have an attitude about doctors that I really don't share. And although I've had my bad luck in finding, I don't believe in luck either, but I found some pretty bad doctors unknowing, being referred to I mean, I'm talking bad as in eco problems. And then, no, and I'm not the only person who notices it. I've had one of my sisters, Adam, going with me, and like, whoa, you know, whoa. So no, or they had, anyway, yeah, just trust it. And then there's some that aren't bad. I have one I really like right now. A doctor I really like, but he can't do everything. He knows to stay in his lane. These other doctors, like this cardiologist, right off the bat, I learned he does not know how to stay in his lane. He's a cardiologist. He does not know everything about every field, but he acts like he does. I noticed that right off the bat. He was so aggressive, and he was going to call my other doctor, my other specialist that's not a cardiologist, and he was going to call him and talk to him about why he's not doing his job. What the crap? You stay in your lane. I was dismissing him. Really? So then they wanted to do this one echocardiogram. They did it, and yeah. And what was said once he did it, he couldn't tell what was really going on, so he'd have to, you got it, eventually get, well, he wanted to do it fast, get to that angiogram. Gotta quickly get there. That's how they all do. And he even admitted it, and that they have a plan, you know, that they I can't remember the term he used, that they have it all set up. We run this test first, then we run this test, like blood test kind of thing, and then you'll do the blood test and all, and then start doing the procedures real quick. The first one, yeah, they're going to do an EKG. He didn't do an EKG, I don't think. I just recently had one, but she and the nurses said we've learned not to do unnecessary testing, and we try to make sure, oh, you help right. The last echo I had was last year, a year ago, and you had to have another one, and then to tell me that it doesn't tell us anything, we need to, yeah, because that's what the other doctors want, is that angiogram. And he, like I said, he had the nerve to set out, this is how they do it. And I let him know that I have a rare health condition. I'm not going to be the same as all your other patients. Oh, I cannot get over past this. But the whole thing, like I said, this morning I listened to, you know, one of the people that I've listened to before. I used to listen a lot, talk about it. And it was good for fresh my mind, and made me really think, I don't want to deal with this. I told Adam, I said, I don't know if I want that guy messing with my heart at all. You know, and Adam, I said, why didn't you say much? You know, he said, I decided I was going to stay out of it. And, you know, I'm trying to make Adam sound like he's weak, but I think Adam was there, and when he starts to feel conflict in any situation, how I always say this about Adam is I've suspected, known him over 40 years, I've suspected since I was young, I don't diagnose, that, you know, ADHD much, and he will go off into another little planet. And he was joking with me even yesterday about what he thinks about, but when he goes off into his own little world. But he did that quite a bit, because I know it was a lot for him, because he's so used to having one doctor for 20 years, and then the last few years he's been seeing other ones, because he wanted, before he retired, he used his insurance and saw all these specialists before he, you know, like I said, before he retired. And he was just like, I can't believe the way they act out there. Welcome to my world. But it's not all. We cannot say all. But anyway, I need to get in there. I'm just going in there, like I was saying, going here to see if they have my sodas here. What I was going to say was, or did I say it? I don't think I did. They had them on, they used to sell them for $7 and $8, you know, for a 12 a pack of cans, and then they went down to $5 for several months, maybe even a year. And I went to order them again to have them delivered, because we had gone to grocery store a couple days ago, a different one, and they didn't have them. They had a sale on them, and they didn't have them. And we realized they seemed to not. But anyway, I went to order it last night, and it was $8 and something for one. Whoa. Back to that, even more than higher. I think it was higher than what it was to start off with. So I'm going to come here, see if they even have them. And Mister, you couldn't see the guy. Elderly guy that walked past me, he was looking at me like, "What are you doing? Talking to yourself?" Speaking of, okay, I'm gonna go in. All right, so I went in there, and you know, there was no bad thing in the grocery store. Usually, no matter what grocery store, I don't care what chain, no matter what one, it is notorious these days. I mean, this area has been known to have a lot of people with high sense of entitlement. That's what I first heard, like 40 years now, about this whole thing. But this time, the only problem I had was there was a delivery guy for sodas, and he was, you know, had the whole thing taken up. I mean, half of the aisle taken up because he was delivering the sodas, and okay, they've changed the way out of here, huh? But a young woman, he was a young woman walked up, and she wormed her way into where he was because she wanted a certain soda, and she was like very persistent, and yes ma'am, he jumped up. And then, I mean, I was standing right there looking, and he didn't ask me I needed help, nothing. And then when he finished with her, I'm right there behind him. He doesn't ask me again. And I was kind of laughing about it, saying, because I'm a social and behavioral scientist, I'm going to point these things out. What would I be worth if I didn't? But he just totally ignored me. And I said, "Excuse me," and he acted like, "Oh, how do I gotta help you?" Seriously, he just like, "Oh, so much work." You know, because I was asking him about his soda, but he helped me. He said, "This is all I have." But they didn't have mine, the kind that I like. He didn't work for them. He worked for a different one. And they didn't have mine, so I asked him. And the other one, he used to give me some problems with my stomach, I realized. So they didn't have any of mine. And it's like that. This is getting crazy. I even looked it up to see if they discontinued mine and my brand of sodas. But it said that they didn't, but it's up to them. I guess I'm gonna have to order them, go back to getting $8 for 12. But anyway, what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? Oh well. But look at the sun. I mean, not the sun, but the clouds. And we're not supposed to have any rain or anything today, but just take a look. You can see. Hot in here. But yeah, I mean, so nothing else. I mean, usually there's going to be some drama, and I've already said, why does there have to be so much drama? Adam's seeing it too, so it's not just me. And when we go shopping, like the other day, I'm thinking something happened. Somebody was rude to him. He's older than I. Because he was just like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's so shocking the way some people treat you. Just so shocking. He just doesn't notice stuff. He's in his own world. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and just went to the grocery store, and I want to talk about some stuff. Okay, where am I? They put some new place in there. They colored it. They painted it a different color. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, where am I now? This strip mall, they painted the biggest part of it, I guess. It's a different color, totally different color. Anyway, what a way to start a video. But there was lately, especially since this week, things have, I used to make a lot of videos about narcissism and such, and I'm not one to pile everything, this bad behaviors under narcissism. When somebody's self-centered on something, I just don't pile them all under that. I've seen some that have those histrionic behaviors and throw major temper tantrums, and they don't care what kind of attention. They've got to be the center of attention, on and on. And it's not just those either. But a lot of people, they like to just pile it all under narcissism, I guess, because more people have heard narcissism. Okay, I just can't get over the color change over there. Oh, anyway. So, okay. Anyway, I got distracted again. But lately I've been thinking about this particular stuff. All this time that I have not been well since 2023, and it's been one thing after another, back to back, and so my focus has not been on making videos about, like I did all this time, toxic people, narcissistic people, histrionic people. I know people who are diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and that's not one I've really studied all that. I have studied it, but not all as much as the other ones. An antisocial, I knew somebody who was, he didn't say it, but it was obvious. He had been in prison for, I think, since he was a teenager, off and on. He was in juvie, then he got out, then he got back in, didn't know him for too many years, though. He died, but had an enlarged heart. Anyway, he died after I told his dad, you keep him away from me. And his dad listened. And not long after that, he died. But he was an evil dude. I think he was diagnosed with an antisocial. I think the guy was a psychopath. I really do. Really do. And anyway, I've met people that they have no care, no remorse, guilt, or shame, and that's how I heard how they diagnosed back then, way back when. Psychopaths, they have no remorse, guilt, shame, none. And lately, I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of disturbed people, and wow, and not just online or on a movie or on a reality show or on a social media platform, not just only those, but in person. Okay, in person. And sometimes it's just even Adam was saying, man, my goodness, he and I married when I was 18. He's older than I don't say his name, that's his business. But I mean don't say his name either. Adam is his screen name I got to use for videos, his nickname. But I don't tell his age, that's his business. So, but he's older than I, and he usually does not pay attention to what's going on around him, and what's going on in social work. Really, he's in the store, he's thinking something else. I've known him over 40 years, 45 almost. And he's telling me, I can't believe the amount of people these days with these weird behaviors. I don't know if there's any such thing anymore. I'm a social and behavioral scientist. I'm starting where there is no such thing as a norm anymore. And yeah, there are people who've been saying that for years, but there is a norm. Deviate too far from it, you might wind up in the psych ward, okay? That's one of my taglines. You know, I made a video recently about how many people, like if you say something and they think it's cute, they're going to steal it. They're going to make it theirs. You know, the copycats. Something I've dealt with so many years. But I know some that just, they don't care. They did it to several people. You know. But anyway, one on my mind is someone. I mean, have you ever seen somebody online? Somebody making a video, and they say that they did something wrong. We all know that that's wrong. They admit that they don't say the words wrong. They say, well, I did this, but immediately they got those three little words, but, and then they find reason to blame other people. You know, in a way, the way they tell the story, you kind of question, are they admitting that they did wrong at the same time? Or are they just stating the circumstance and not accepting not having any accountability, not accepting blame for it, because they will go quickly into how it's like a businesses, people who work in that business, or that just typical of these businesses. They might not even know anybody. It might be like these like people who do food delivery. I'm just going to use that as an example. And they're going to blame the businesses, they're going to blame the customers, they're going to blame the restaurants, they're going to blame the stores, whatever, when they did something wrong. That's not everybody, and I've only seen maybe a couple of them do that, maybe a little more. So it's not all of them, but some people will flat out blame somebody else. I mean, if you're watching that and you know for a fact that's against the rules or that's against the law, like parking in disabled parking spaces, and say, well, I'm only going to be in there in a minute. No, it doesn't work that way. You do not park there, period. Unless you are a disabled person with the plaque or whatever it is, wherever you live. Little placard thing. No, just because you're just going to be a minute. You come out and your car is booted or it's being towed away, that's your problem. You did it, and they can be expensive. Very. The ticket and the so on and so forth. Oh my. Oh, speeding through going 60 through a neighborhood. Like this, you see, it says 30. Because you've got another order and you got to get to it really fast. And then so they blame the delivery service. Yeah, they put minutes on us, and sometimes our orders take longer. You know, they're gonna blame anybody but themselves. No, you know the speed limit. It is the law. Like that said that article I looked up, and I could just hear it here in Texas. I could hear the man. I could see him. I could picture him. I don't really know him, but who he is, I don't know his name, but it said it is the law. It is, and they had a period in the law, period. I could see it. I could, but yeah, is what it said. But there's some people, I mean, they do things like they know not to do, but because they want to. Anyway, today has been the last, like I said, maybe this week, my whole life, really, I'm not exaggerating either, dealing with some of the most narcissistic people, narcissistic behaviors. I would say just the sense of entitlement, really thick. And where, like I've said so many times, where I live, no place should have a reputation, because not all people that live there are that way. And this with the whole sense of entitlement, high sense of entitlement here, not everybody who lives here acts this way, but man, those who do stand out, oh my goodness, they are just right there, it. And this been over 40 years, because it was something that I learned, but had been stated before then. They had the reputation before I heard of it. So that was 40 years ago. So, but anyway, and then you come home and you watch some video and you see somebody making it. Oh my goodness, how they're gonna. Okay, nobody needed to know that happened. Okay, nobody needed to know that this person or that person or whomever had a situation where, they're going to blame. People know that that's wrong, that behavior is wrong. But they can make a video, put it on there, but blame somebody else, something else or somebody else. Nobody needed to know that. But it's their way, I joke and say in my videos, not really joke, no, strike the joke part, or for venting, my pressure release valve. But these people, they do it because, how dare it? And it's kind of a little bit in a way, passive aggressiveness, not maybe, I don't know, maybe so. Passive aggressive, the way it was defined back when I was a student, was indirectly resisting demands. Like as if there's the person they're with, that they're being passive aggressive with, is demanding something, and that person might not be demanding at all. Okay, but they resist it and they do stuff that was, that was passive aggressive. Okay, anyway. But I just got finished buying groceries. I need to go home. But anyway, just to see that, nobody needed to know this, but they're going to say it because sometimes, I think one of the reasons, besides them blowing off steam that way, they know that they did something wrong, is that they know their audience. These that are grifters, the sob story grifters, sob story fraudsters, they tell, I don't have enough money for groceries, and you see them buying crazy stuff. With people who donated them that money, even their last dollar, literally, they take that and they go and spend $100 at a restaurant, or something like that, or they go and take their family on vacations to, say, I did the math, like $20,000. Serious. But to see them do this and try so hard to justify, but it's really about, like I was saying, about their audience. They know their audience likes to hear negative things, especially since a lot of their audience are also people who do the same thing, food delivery, grocery delivery, whatever. And then they enjoy hearing somebody else blame the business, the delivery service, blame the customers, blame the grocery stores or food or restaurants, whatever it is that they're picking up and delivering. They love that. They love to hear that. People do have, every once in a while, have bad experiences that aren't theirs. But to put on a video something that people know is wrong, and then blame the other people, and people are giving them, so sorry, that happened to you, so sorry. Well, she did wrong, or he did wrong. I've seen men and women. It's not, Anyway, wrapping this up.